first order of business is approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I will move approval of the minutes of the regular Planning and Development Committee meeting of February 28th.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and call the roll. Alderman Kelly. Okay. Councilmember Newsome.
Aye.
Councilmember Burns.
What is this?
This is approval of the minutes.
Aye.
Councilmember Reed.
Aye.
I'm aye too, so that passes. Brings us to our next order of business, which is public comment. Is there anybody signed up for public comment?
Do you see anybody?
Okay, great. There being no public comment, our next item is item P1, Ordinance 17022, a text amendment to the zoning ordinance related to ground floor office uses in non-residential and non-university districts. This is for introduction. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Newsome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just would like a clarification of what are the two changes proposed to the zoning ordinance. If I could ask staff to boil down the very comprehensive memo into a sentence or two.
You can hold on 1 second.
I did.
Effective. Good evening, Johanna Nine, Community Development Director. Effectively, what we want to do is reduce the complications of parking in different districts. So every time somebody comes in and wants to open one of these offices, depending on the district, it might have a different requirement, overlays. So the idea is to make it simple across the board. This also helps downtown Evanston because right now we don't have any parking requirements for downtown Evanston. So these office uses are very attractive to downtown. And some of the feedback we get is that downtown doesn't always want these ground floor uses for an office. So those are potentially more active ground floor retail restaurant type uses. So this is a great equalizer. So we don't necessarily draw to downtown anymore.
And so this, if this goes forward, this would provide staff more authority to make decisions on their own.
I think the idea is in some ways reduce the authority that staff would have because it would make more of the offices, because right now you have to go through a process to review, the staff has to review the parking that's provided. This would just be more transparent and saying, these are the requirements for all the offices or all the ground floor spaces for this particular use.
Okay. And is this designed specifically to address the proliferation of COVID-19 test sites? And something we would undo at some point?
I don't know if generally with text amendments, you don't want to think about them undoing, you want to think about them as universal. Medical office, we continue to have different shapes and forms of this. In my experience, we've had this come up many times. We have dentist office, we have medical offices. Now it's COVID test sites as a medical office space. So there may be something coming up down the pike that we don't know about that would continue to be an issue for this particular space.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I think we can call the roll.
Okay. Councilmember Kelly? Aye. Councilmember Wynn? Aye. Councilmember Newsome?
Aye.
Councilmember Sefferden?
Aye.
And Councilmember Burns? Councilmember Reed? And no Councilmember Bell. Okay. It passes.
Okay, all right, so that item is done. This brings us to item P2, Ordinance 18022, approving a major variation pursuant to City Code 6-3-8-10D for the property located at 1706 to 1710 Sherman Avenue. Is there a second? All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, why don't we take a
I'd be
vote?
curious to hear what the council member of that ward has to say about this one.
So I'm very excited that Mr. Rogan is here, yeah? That the plan is to maintain the structural integrity of the Varsity Theater, and then to also develop out the alley along the side of it. I think this is going to be very exciting and a huge boost to our downtown. So I support this.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, let's have a vote.
Councilmember Kelly? Councilmember Wynn? Councilmember Nusma?
Aye.
Councilmember Safford?
Aye. All right, so that passes as well. That brings us to items for discussion. Are there any items for discussion? Not tonight. Items for communication? None tonight. That brings us to adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned. City Council is set to begin at 6 o'clock.